So I like this guy, right? And I'm so delusional about him, but like I just can't stop thinking about it. So, anyways, we met January 6th this year at the club. Me and my best friend Danny, we went to the club with a group of friends, but we were kind of like doing our own thing. Like we would dance with them and then we would go like do our own thing. Me and her were trying to find men that we thought were cute, you know? Like that's what you do at the club. Every time we thought someone was cute, either me or her, we would both go like dance next to them so that the guy could like get the hint and be like, oh, you're cute, you know, and talk to us. So it was like 1:30. We had 30 more minutes till the club closed, and then this guy came up to us, right? And this guy, we're gonna name him John, right? So John came up to us and he asked us like, hey, do y'all want to go to VIP? Like we have shots. First, like I really didn't want to go just because like I was fucked up already. Like at this point I had like maybe 3 adioses and like a couple shots, and I was gone, you know? So I was like, I don't really want shots, but I knew Danny did. So I was like, yeah, let's go. And we told him yes. So then we went to VIP with him, and Danny was the only one getting shots from him. I was just kind of like recording her and like hyping her up, you know, like that's my bestie, you know what I mean? In this VIP like lounge or whatever, there was us 3, so me, Danny, and John, and we were like by the table in the middle of the VIP. And then in the very back corner there was 2 random girls, and then like at the entrance of VIP, like when you walk in, there was 2 guys standing there like looking into the club, right? And so their backs were to us. So funny because at the time I didn't notice those 2 guys, to be honest. I didn't notice them at all. I only noticed the 2 girls in the back because I was like, because it was like a really big like room, and there was just 2 random girls like in the back, and there was like no alcohol back there or anything. Like I was just like, what are they doing, you know? Like I don't know, it was just weird to me. So I was like, that's why I noticed them. And I guess the guys, like I really didn't care about them. Like they didn't interest me at all. We only had 30 minutes for her to drink her shots, and then the club closed. So as we're leaving, the 2 guys that are standing at the entrance to VIP, they're actually John's best friends, and they leave first because they're standing right there at the entrance of VIP, right? So they leave first, and it's the entrance of VIP, then it's the bar right here. Like they're like connected kind of. They're standing right in front of the bar, right? The 2 people. This guy is named, we're gonna name him Jim, and this guy we're gonna name him James, right? So Jim, James, right? And then we're walking out, right, of VIP, and they're right there. This is Danny, the first one. Then it's me. Then it's John, the third one, right? So it's Danny, me, John, and we're walking out, you know, and we're passing them. And for some reason, this is what's weird to me. Now looking back at it, you know, like, I don't know, it's weird. Because I really don't have a type, but this man I would never, like, pick out myself. And even that night, I was specifically looking for cute guys. And I'm sure I saw him because he was standing at, first of all, he was standing at the like entrance of VIP, so, and looking into the club, so I could see his face while I was in the club. And I was right there at the bar like multiple times buying myself fucking adioses. So I'm pretty sure I saw him, but I just didn't like, he didn't interest me, you know? This, like I said, like this is not a guy that I would have picked out. So it's weird to me that as we were walking by, I stopped right in front of him, right? I stopped right in front of James. This is the guy that I like. I don't know what came over me to stop in front of him. I don't understand it at all, even to this day. I stopped right in front of him, and him and Jim are both wearing these like big ass like gaudy chains, and I could have stopped in front of Jim. Like his chain was honestly bigger, like maybe triple the size of James's. So I could have stopped in front of Jim, but for some reason I stopped in front of James, and I asked him like, hey, is that real? And he laughed and he was like, does it feel real? Like, feel it. And I was like, okay. So then I felt it, and honestly it didn't feel real to me, but I didn't want to say that. Like I knew like he he was proud of it if he was just like feel it, you know, like he just seemed like very confident that it was real. I didn't want to say that, so I just like kind of laughed, and then he laughed, and then he had veneers and he had a really pretty smile. So I was like, oh, I was like, your smile's so pretty. And then he laughed again, and then he was like, your smile's pretty too. And I was like, you know, like a dumb bitch, you know, not knowing this is the start of the fucking heartbreak. But yeah, so I was like, you know, whatever. And then somehow, so I'm blacked out drunk. I remember that, and then I remember being outside. I don't know how we got outside. I don't remember who walked with who. I don't know. But somehow we got from that point A to point B, which was outside. And when we were outside, I remember James told me, like, oh, I'll give you a ride home. Right? I don't know if we asked him or if they asked us, like, how are you getting home? I don't know who initiated that subject, but either way, he was like, oh, I'll give you a ride home. There's like all these people right here, and we're walking like past them, you know, to get to James's car. And I bring up food because when I'm fucking drunk, I want to eat. So I'm like, let's get food, I'm hungry. And he was like, no, like, I'll take y'all home, but like, I'm not getting y'all food. And then Danny hears that I bring up food. So Danny's like, yeah, let's get food. Let's get Whataburger. And I was like, yeah, Whataburger. And me and her just like fucking drunk, like, woo, yeah, Whataburger. And so he's like, no, I'm not getting y'all food. Like, as we're walking by these people, there's like this group of guys. And I guess they hear us talking about food. And so one guy tells Danny, like, oh, I'll buy you food. James is like, oh, see, like, this guy will buy you food. Danny wanted to go with him, so I was like, are you sure you want to go with him? She was like, yes. And I really, like, to be honest, I didn't think that those people like seemed like, my intuition was telling me don't go with them, you know. And my intuition was telling me that the other people were nice and they would actually give us a ride home and like not rape us, you know what I mean? So not that the other people raped us, but like, I'm just saying, like, those people didn't seem like good people to me. And then the other people, like James, Jim, and John, they seemed like good people to me. So I felt safer going with them. So I didn't really want to go with these other guys, but Danny did. And I wasn't going to leave her alone. So I was just like, are you sure? And she was like, yeah, I really want to go with him. And I was like, okay, then I'll go with you. And so I told James, like, oh, I'm going to go with them because Danny wants to go with him. And he was like, okay, you know, but for some reason, even though like we weren't going with James, we still like walked him to his car. And I don't remember the guys like that Danny was gonna go with walking with us. It was just me, James, Jim, and Danny and John. And I remember Danny and John were like walking ahead of us and they were talking, and then me, James, and Jim were walking, right? And I remember John told Danny, like, you're a bad bitch, like, don't get me wrong, but I like her, me, and, like, I want her to have my babies, and, like, all this stuff, like, hyping me up, right? And I was just, like, I heard that, and I was just, like, oh, hell no, like, I don't want to have nobody's babies, like, you know, like, I don't want to have babies, so I was just like, no, like, she can have your babies. Walked them to their car. It was at their car, like, they left, whatever. They went with the other guys. That was the night we met, right? Somehow, I don't remember how. I don't know who initiated it. But somehow, me and Danny both got James and John's Snapchat. Both of us got both of their Snapchats. But neither of us got Jim's Snapchat. I don't know why. I don't know if he... I don't know what happened, but we didn't get Jim. Neither of us got Jim's, but we both got James and John's. I had them on Snapchat for maybe like, I don't know, like a couple weeks. And I really like, at this point, right, sober me, I didn't think either of them were cute. Like, you know, maybe drunk me liked James because I did stop in front of him, you know, but at like sober me, I didn't think either of them were cute, but I liked them, you know, like I liked them as people. I remembered that I felt safe with them. I thought they were nice people. And then the thing about James and John, and even Jim now, but like I don't have him on social media, I just know this about him. But all of them, they post their complete life on like Snapchat, like hours of content. Like, you know where they're at because they're posting it every second of every minute of every day, right? So it's kind of like watching a reality show, and you know, like when you watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and you kind of think like, oh, that's like me and Kim are besties because you know her life. Or even like YouTubers, you know their life so much that you feel connected with them. You know, like me and Desi Perkins. Like, I love Desi Perkins. And she posts so much of her life on social media that I feel like we're friends. You know, like if I saw her in person, my brain wouldn't understand that she doesn't know me. You know, like I feel like we're friends. So that's how I felt about them. You know, like they only met me one time, and I don't think they were getting that connection from me because I wasn't posting my whole life on Snapchat, but they were. So I felt like we were friends. I thought they were so fun and stuff, and I liked being their friend, even though like I'm pretty sure they didn't think of me as a friend. Anyways, this doesn't even matter. But I would slide up on both John and James's story. Not flirting, just like I thought we were friends, you know what I mean? So I was like sliding up like we're friends, you know, like, oh my god, like you're using a fucking shrimp as a chaser, like that's fucking wild, you know, like, or like oh my god, like that looks fun, or like that girl's so pretty, you know, like I thought we were friends. So I was just like replying to their snaps as like friends, both of them, right? Keep in mind, I was replying to both of their snaps as friends. Then this probably happened like for a week or two, right? Then James posted like a wad of cash, right? And it was $100,000 that he had in his fucking hand, because it was from the bank. You tell, like it had those like papers that, like the paper holding it, that said like how much is in there in that wad, and each one said $10,000, and he had 10 of them, so it was $100,000, right? And he posted the picture like he was holding the wad, and then you could see his like wrist, and you could see there was a tattoo right here. And you know, me being me, I was just like, ooh, money, right? So then that like attracted me, right? So it was like a beat to honey, but I didn't want to comment on the money, you know, because like that's not gonna get me anywhere. So I didn't want to comment on the money, so I commented on his tattoo, and I was like, oh, like show me your tattoo, it looks cute. And he was like, he was like all flirty with me, you know, and he was like, you can come over and see it anytime. And when he said that, like obviously like sex, you know what I mean? Like I'm not just gonna go to a random man's house and look at his tattoo and be like, okay, like bye, you know. I knew he was inviting me to have sex, but I only knew this guy from one time from the club. And yeah, he goes to other clubs, but like a lot of people have fake IDs. And so I didn't know how old this man was. I was like, how old are you? And he was like 25. And then he was like, how old are you? I was like, how do I look? And then he was like, let me see your Instagram. And so then I sent him my Instagram. He followed me, and then he snapped me back, and he was like, I followed you. And I was like, okay, well, like, how do I look? How old do I look? And then he was like, I don't remember exactly what he said. I think he said 19, to be honest. And so, yeah. And I was like, oh, like, flattered, bitch. Yeah, I was like, no, I'm 25. And he thought I was lying, which honestly, it kind of seems it seems like I was lying, but it's just like a coincidence because we're both the same age, and he just said he was 25. And then now I'm saying I'm 25, but I really was 25. So yeah, he thought I was lying. He was like, quit playing, like you're lying. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm really 25. And he was like, I think he told me like when's my birthday or something. I don't know. But that conversation just like kind of ended there. I didn't go over to his house. Nothing really came of that, you know. But that was the door that opened this, you know. Like we met in the club, but that didn't really open anything. But that interaction is what opened everything else. That was the door, and I walked through it. After that, for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, we kind of like flirted on Snapchat and Instagram. You know, like he would swipe up on my stories, or I would swipe up on his stories, and he would like my Instagram pictures, and I would like his Instagram pictures, or like Instagram story. Then James posted a story where he was in the airplane and he tagged like Miami, like it was one of those geo filters on Snapchat. So he was in Miami, and I slid up and I was like, oh, you're in Miami, like I love Miami, have fun. And he was like, oh, I'm actually not in Miami, this is just like my connecting flight. I'm going to Puerto Rico, but I'm going to Miami next month, like you should come with me, like I'll buy your plane ticket and everything. And then I didn't want to just like, I don't know, like I was down 100%, like I was like yes in my mind, but I kind of wanted to play hard to get. And so I was like, like what are the days? And so then he told me the days, and then I was like, like I'll think about it. And he was like, okay, like just let me know, like blah blah whatever. And so then I told him like, yeah, like I could get that time off, so yeah, like I'll go with you. And he was like, okay, like I'll send you the information when I get back to Texas. When I get back, like I'm gonna buy the tickets and I'll send like you all the information and whatever. And I was just like, okay, like bet, right? No, so then he comes back from Puerto Rico, right? Doesn't tell me about Miami or anything, right? And then it gets closer to like the Miami dates, and this is February. We're supposed to go to Miami February 23rd, right? And so it's getting closer to those days. So I'm like, hey, like what's happening with Miami? You know, like did you still want me to go? And he leaves me on red, right? So like, cool, you know, like thanks. Yeah, so I'm just like, wow, like I thought we were besties and you're just gonna like leave me like that, but okay. So in my head, I was just like trying to, I'm delusional. So I was just trying to like, you know, feel good about myself. So I was like, maybe he's not going. Anyways, he still went, just not with me. February 23rd comes around. He goes to Miami with all his friends. He has like 7 guy friends. What I could see, like he didn't take any girls, but he told me later that he did. So I'm just like, you know what, maybe it was just like a boys trip, you know, like delusional again, like maybe it was just a boys trip and like he didn't want me to go because like he was just going with his friends, you know. And so whatever, but he was with girls in Miami, but I thought like they just like found him there because like he didn't show them like on the plane, and like he didn't, I don't know. I was very fucking salty about him like going to Miami without me. One of his stories, he posted him in a hot tub with like one of his guy friends and then like 4 girls, right? And I don't know why the fuck I said this, but I just like slid up and I was like, damn, like I was so fucking salty. I was like, damn, we could have had a foursome, but too bad, or something like that. I don't know why I said that. That's so fucking like, pick me, bitch. And he was like, that's wild. And I was like, yeah, too bad though. And I don't remember what he said, but he said something, and then like I just left him on red or whatever. Then I think I asked him for a dick pic, and I was just like, show me your dick. I hadn't seen it before, so I was just like, you know. And I'm pretty sure I was fucking drunk, so yeah. And then he didn't send me a dick pic. Then that night I went out with my friends and I got drunk, like drunk as fuck, like fucking, like bitch, I got fucking, the last time I was blacked out drunk, this time I was even worse. Like this time I had double amount of liquor in my system. Like I was fucking fucked up. Like I don't even remember getting home, right? But either way, when I got home, I remember, and don't tell me why, because bitch, I was fucking drunk. But when I got home, I fucking FaceTimed this man on Snapchat. You know, like how you could FaceTime them? Well, I FaceTimed him on Snapchat, and it was like 4 in the morning too. 4 in the morning, I FaceTimed this man, drunk as hell, And for some reason he answered. And honestly, that fed my ego so much, like him answering, like, oof, he wants me. Is there a time difference in Miami? Because I think it was 4 a.m. It doesn't even matter. Anyways, so yeah, he answered, and bitch, I was fucking drunk, and I was just like, show me your dick, you know? And he was just like laughing. He was like, you're drunk, and like, whatever. And he was like, I remember he was like, you're gonna get me in trouble with the girls that are inside, you know, like, my girls. And then I was like, okay, well then hang up and go with them. And then he didn't, and I was just like, you know. And so we talked. I don't remember what we talked about because bitch, I was fucking drunk. But I remember that we talked, and like, you know, we had a grand old time. You know what I mean? Like, somehow this man had a whole house full of women and still answered my FaceTime call. Yeah, I don't know why. And he was like, you're getting me in trouble with the girls that are over, like, but he still chose to talk to me. I don't know why. And then when I sent him the picture, he was like, why didn't you come? You know, like, I don't know. It gives me... Another thing that he said, and while we were on FaceTime, he was like, you should have came, like, I wish you were here, blah blah blah. And I was like, you're the one that didn't like let me go. Like, you said you were gonna pay for my shit, and you didn't like respond. You left me on red, you know. And he was like, I don't remember like if he like said anything about that, but yeah, he was like, he kept telling me like, oh, you should have came, bitch, blame yourself. And so then when we hung up, I sent him a booty pic, right? And then he told me the same thing. He was like, God, I fucking need that right now. Like, I wish you were here. You should have came. And then I think I was just like, send me a dick pic. And then he didn't say anything. I think he left me on red. This was like a few days later, maybe a week, maybe 2. He was already back in Texas. And yeah, we hadn't really talked since then. Like, he didn't tell me like, oh, come over, like, I'm back in Texas, or nothing, you know. Like, we didn't really like talk or anything. I posted a picture of me in like a big t-shirt. It's actually my grandma's t-shirt. I don't know what it is about this man, but he gets under my fucking skin so much. I really don't know why, because no other men, like, I feel like no other men have made me feel like this, you know. And I think that's why I like him so much, because he just fucking does something for me, you know. Like, I don't know why, but he just fucking gets under my fucking skin. Anyways, so when he told me like, let me see what's underneath, after like, he hasn't invited me to his house, like, he's back from fucking Miami, and we're in the same town, and he still hasn't been like, oh, come over, you know. Like, when he said, oh, I need that, you know. So that shit just pissed me off, and it got under my skin, pissed me off. And so I went the fuck off on him. And then on top of that, I sent him a booty pic, and he didn't send me a dick pic, right? So I was pissed, and that shit just got under my skin. I said no, and he was like, no, and with like a lot of question marks. And I was like, yeah, like you're just fucking playing with me, and I'm bored of this game. And he was like, that's crazy. And I was like, what's crazy, James? And he said, he was like, that you said you're bored. And I was like, I am. I said, I am. You're just playing with me. I've been trying to fuck with you since I met you, and I'm bored, and it's boring, right? And then when I said that, he was like, that's crazy. This is the first time you ever said that. And then I was like, I thought it was obvious. Like, I fucking asked you for a dick pic. And then he was like, I thought you... And I told him, I asked him for a dick pic, and I even called him when I was drunk. And he was like, yeah, I thought that's why you asked for a dick pic, because you were drunk. Yeah, so he was like, well, I'm not playing games anymore. Like, I want you. And like, then he said some vulgar stuff, you know, like he was just gonna take his dick out and like, whatever. And yeah, it kind of just like falls off, you know. We don't really like make plans. We don't really do anything, you know. Like, he's still liking my stories, but that's really it. And I remember he posted this one picture, and I was like, oh, you look cute here or whatever. And then I don't remember exactly what he said, but he somehow brought up that it was his birthday coming up, and I was like, oh shit, like what are you gonna do? And then he was like, I don't know, but like I gotta pop off. And then I was like, well, you gotta do something like bigger than Miami, you know, like it's your birthday. And then he left me on red again. But yeah, he texted me and invited me to Puerto Rico because his birthday was that week on his birthday was on Thursday. He was like, come to Puerto Rico with me on Thursday. And I was like, this fucking Thursday? And he was like, yeah, it's my birthday, like come with me. So at my job, my schedule, my week starts on Saturday. So I already had like my schedule for Thursday, Friday, the days that he wanted to go. But I hadn't got my schedule for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which are more days that he wanted to go. Like he wanted to go that whole week, like 5 days, right? And it was like a Monday, so I know that they had just started the schedule, right? Because the schedule comes out on Thursdays, so it was still time for me to request Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, and I was already off Friday, but I work Thursday, and so I told him. I think I got off that day at 6, right? And I told him, like, I work Thursday, but I can go Friday through Monday and like just meet you there on Friday. And then he was like, and then I don't think he responded, so I was like, or not. And he was like, no, if you're not coming the whole time, then forget about it. Like, I'm good. And I was like, okay, whatever, James. I'm trying to remember exactly because I don't have screenshots and I deleted them off Snapchat, so I can't even go back and look. I told him it's just one day. And then I was like, what time are you leaving on Thursday? Because I got out at 6. And so he said he's leaving it. He was like, I don't know. I'm going to buy the tickets tonight when I get home. But it's going to be early. And I was like, okay, well then I can't go. Later when he got home and he was like buying the tickets, he was like, you swear to fucking God, you can't just call in. And then I was like, no, James, like I'm not going. Wednesday, posted on his story at like 2 p.m. that he got pulled over, right? And one thing you should know about this man is, you know, he does bad things, right? It was like maybe 4 or something, and I posted a story. This whole time this was happening, I was at work, but one thing you should know about him as well is that this man watches my story religiously. You know, like the second it's fucking posted, first person to watch it, you know? Like, unless he's busy or he's like at the club, then he'll like watch it 20 or 30 minutes later, but still like fucking religiously, you know? Like still, like he never goes hours without seeing it, right? So I posted a story and he didn't see it for an hour. And I was telling my friend Danny, and I was just like, hey, like you know, like James hasn't seen my story. Kind of like we're laughing about it because we both have him on Snapchat, so we both saw that he got pulled over, and we were kind of like, oh, like maybe he got arrested, right? Haha. And then like more time went by, and it was like 3 hours, you know, since I posted my story, so it was like 7, and he still hadn't watched it. So I was like, damn, like he really hasn't watched it. Like now I'm getting worried, you know? So I told her, I was like, what if he really did get arrested? And so then I texted him at 7, and I was like, what are you doing tonight, so that we could like hook up, you know? Like we hadn't really like made plans to like hang out except like the trips. And then he didn't respond. And so I was just like, that's weird, you know? So I was just like, man, what if he really is in jail, right? And I was just like thinking about it all day because he still hadn't watched my story. He hadn't like, oh my God, this just fucking broke. My hair looks gross, I'm sorry. At this point, it's been hours, you know, like it was like maybe 11, and he hadn't watched my story, and he hadn't even opened my message, right? So I was like, damn, this is really weird. Like he's fucking in jail. Like this, there's no way this man is not in jail. So I go home, go to sleep, whatever. For some reason, I wake up at 6 a.m. and I never fucking wake up early. Like I never fucking wake up. But for some reason, I woke up at 6 a.m. and had this urge to fucking check Snapchat, right? And so I go and check Snapchat, and his friend John posted on his story that he's at the bail bonds, right, at 3 a.m. So I'm like, oh my God, like this man is in jail, right? It could be any one of his friends. It could be like someone else that John knows, you know. But I knew it in my heart. Like, this man had not seen my story. He had not opened my message. Like, this man was in jail, right? That was the confirmation that I fucking needed. My delusional ass, I was just like, that's it. He's in jail. So